Welcome everyone to the Healthy Living Revolution Live. My name is Terry Luongo, and I want to thank you for joining us. The Healthy Living Revolution is a movement of people who are taking their health back. We are offering this educational series to address specific health and nutritional topics with top doctors, scientists, and researchers to bring clarity and simple solutions. So today it is my privilege to introduce Dr. Jan Roberto to address the topic of soy myths versus facts. Dr. Roberto has been practicing full-time family medicine for almost 30 years. She serves as part owner and managing partner of the Springfield Center for Family Medicine, which provides care to over 10,000 patients. She completed her undergraduate degree at the University of Cincinnati and received her doctorate of medicine from the Wright State University School of Medicine. Dr. Roberto is a member of the American Academy of Family Physicians, and she has lectured to medical students and family practice residents about nutrition and practice management. Her DVD, A Prescription for a Healthier Life, has helped educate many on the importance of choosing wellness and vitality. She and her husband, Mark, have one son, Samuel, who also has chosen medicine as his career path, and he is currently an internal medicine student. So it is my privilege and honor to introduce Dr. Jan Roberto.
Thank you, Terry. It's just such a pleasure to be on here with you and just to share some thoughts and some education, I hope, and perhaps clear up some maybe misunderstandings and just shed some light on a really, really important topic. You know, what I realize is that people can be very passionate about an issue and spend a lot of time researching, and then they develop beliefs, and then they search out more information to validate their belief. And some might just start with their own conclusion first and then search out for any and all information to support that conclusion. What are these sources? The internet, popular media, community beliefs, and even some special industry, special interests. So what is the pitfall of doing this research without having a scientific medical frame of reference to judge the information that's been found? So my role as a physician is to look at the thousands of independent medical and dietetic professions out there and to kind of make some sense of it. Unlike politics, you don't have to be right here and prove somebody else wrong. You know, this is health. And my goal is to just shed some light on some, substantiated medical information. And basically, let's look at the forest and look at the trees. Let's see the greater good here. And we don't want to disregard great information while searching out imperfections just to make a stand on some minor points. So what are some of the misconceptions I hear often, even recently, even though I have data to show differently? Something like soy interferes with breast cancer, could cause breast cancer. Thyroid issues could cause goiters, cause hypothyroid, cause cancer. Even issues around the type of soy, whether it's fermented or non-fermented. So I just would like to ask you, are you open to learning? Are you open to maybe getting rid of some previous understandings and just become more informed, move towards more clarity? Let me just tell you, physicians, well-trained physicians might not even know all of this information. And I would tell you, if it wasn't for my special interest in this area, I would not know either. And it takes something like this to really sharpens iron, and make us kind of delve into that research and see what's there. And it's been very exciting. So, our first job, and you'll hear me say this, is to first do no harm. And so when we talk about not all soy is equal, you're going to learn some things here. And, again, there might be some established ideas out there that are not always now found to be true or correct. And this is because new information has come out. Science has evolved. But what has happened is that some people still believe what we call a myth. So what is a myth? It's a story that's been passed down that appears to be true. It can lead to paranoia. It can lead to fear. It's a widely held idea, but it's been unproven, or maybe it's a false collection of belief. It might be a previous conclusion that's now been re-examined over time. What is a fact? Well, it's substantiated by experts in the field. I look at an expert as peer-reviewed science, history of consistent outcomes. This is very important. Truth known by actual experience or observation and something known to be true. Those are some facts. And so, we want to consider some of the sources that might perpetuate. And sometimes it really is sometimes traced to organizations or industries that might have a loyalty to a cause or to a viewpoint without that substantial evidence. And it, again, could be outdated information that has been replaced with new information. So let's look at the Asians. Japan, China, they have been consuming soy for thousands of years. And, we know that they have for a long time had known decreased cardiovascular disease, decreased cancer, decreased bone fractures, improved pre- and postmenopausal health, until the introduction of the highly processed Western diet did they start to have a change in their health picture. And so, we have already known this for years, that soy has been used 28 grams sometimes a day in this population. And so let's be reminded that soy is a legume. It is harvested in the ground, much like beans and peas, and it's considered to be a complete source of protein with all of the essential amino acids. There are many well-known health benefits, but what you're going to learn is the health benefits are established, okay? And we'll review those. But how the soybean is grown and how it is processed make a big difference. And so non-GMO and the processing of the soy will help many of you understand with more clarity some of the issues that surround soy. And so first of all, the science is unbelievable. There's over 2,000 peer-related articles annually published on this topic, because there is so much information. There's so much health benefits that have been known from the soy. And so what I have done is, over the last 6 months or so, looked at many studies, prospective, retrospective, case-controlled, peer-reviewed studies, and meta-analysis of the research. And at the end of the day, consuming non-GMO whole food type soy has amazing health benefits. So here's some facts. First of all, we know that the myths of harm have been proven incorrect by clinical studies, and they have been published, as you can see, in medical journals. And statements from the American Cancer Society and the American Heart Association. And I think those are pretty valid places to begin. Wouldn't you agree? Okay, so let's look at a fact versus a myth. How about this? Very outdated studies have been done on soy, previously done on mice and rats, and have shown to have different outcomes in humans. Guess what? Mice and rats metabolize phytoestrogens, which are isoflavones, different than humans. So 15, 20, 30 years ago, there might have been some studies on mice and rats that showed different information than those that have currently been done in the last 15 years on humans. So that is a fact right there, but has perpetuated a myth because there's different outcomes when it's done on humans. Number two, phytoestrogens or plant estrogens, which is the isoflavone, which is the important health benefit of the soy, is not related to human estrogen and does not affect human estrogen levels and has been shown to have anti-estrogen properties. Now, I'm not just saying that. There is so much data that proves this. But these are two pieces of information that come up a lot. How about this? Did you know that the isoflavones are so effective? They actually act as a selective estrogen receptor modifier. And you might say, what does that mean? Well, it helps block the harmful effects of estrogen in certain situations, and especially with breast cancer. It also has been shown recently in some studies to block something called the beta receptor, affecting gene expression. So there's a lot of research that has been done on the powerful effects of isoflavones in terms of breast situations. It has even been proven in several studies that the more pre-pubertal girls that consume soy as before they start menopause, that can lead to help prevent them from having breast cancer. So isoflavones, which is the healthy benefit of the soy, has been shown to support heart health, menopausal symptoms, and reduce some forms of cancer. Okay, well, going back to 1995, the New England Journal of Medicine published a study with over 35 studies that they had reviewed showing heart benefits, a reduction in cholesterol, a reduction in stroke and some forms of cancer, a reduction in blood pressure, and a statement in 1995 that it is best to consume soy from whole food sources and not isoflavone fortified products or highly processed soy. This was 1995, and a lot has happened since. The American Institute of Cancer Research and the American Cancer Society have concluded that soy foods are safe for breast cancer patients. Well, I know I just told you that, but there's a difference between studies and statements from credible institutions. Again, the American Institute for Cancer Research, consuming at least 10 milligrams of isoflavones a day was linked to a 25% decrease in cancer reoccurrence, and this was breast cancer reoccurrence. I cannot tell you how many people will come up to me as I travel and speak and say they've had breast cancer and they cannot take this type of whole food soy, and that's not correct, okay? And this has been established recently and over the last 5 to 7 years. So when I used to, our son Sam is a third-year resident now in internal medicine. He wants to go into cardiology, and I used to tell him too much of a good thing is too much of a good thing. And so what people have done in the past is have taken something like a vitamin, as you know, and maybe megadosed it and put it into a pill and lost the whole food concept. Well, no different than soy. We don't want to be isolating the soy and trying to megadose parts of it because that could be dangerous. We don't want to disrupt that perfect balance that comes from that whole food concept. Number 2 is the digestibility of soy. Soy itself, when it's been harvested in a what we call a minimally processed way, it retains the ability to be digested very well, and it's been given a pure score. And without going into it, it doesn't need help to get digested except for what's in our own body. And so sometimes people get a little bit discussion about fermented, non-fermented, but we're talking about eating soy that has been minimally washed, minimally processed, and our body has the ability to digest it. And so that to me is really exciting. And I never really found anything comparing the benefits in the medical literature about whether soy's been fermented or not. I just know that it retains the perfect score of digestibility in the way that it's been processed. So whole food, non-GMO soy is superior, okay, to isolated, megadosed, and highly processed soy. And you are going to learn more about that in a minute. So let's look at some study conclusions that really have not changed over the last 20 years. So number 1, Nutrition Review says that soy food consumption could possibly slow down cancer progression. That has continue to be the case. Today's dietitian showed that there was no harmful effects from breast cancer survivors. Isoflavones in soy do not act like hormone replacement on breast density and show a decrease in breast density in mammograms. And finally, Journal of the American Medical Association showed, again, a decreased risk of death and reoccurrence among women with breast cancer. Okay, Mark Messina is a well-known worldwide authority on soy, and he actually just had a study published in Nutrients in November of 16. You'll see that at the end, which is probably the best news I can give you. But at any rate, he showed that, this was a study with the National Cancer Institute, National Institute of Health, that moderate whole food soy consumption, which is about 25 grams a day, has been shown to reduce cholesterol, osteoporosis, heart attack, and stroke. And then some issues come up about fertility and sterility. No issues with feminization in boys or men. There is no scientific evidence that the isoflavones affect testosterone or estrogen levels, sperm count, or breast size in men, okay? But let's look at the Thyroid Journal of 2006. And it also talked about thyroiditis, which is Hashimoto's disease, and does not exacerbate or cause. But this is a key on thyroid issues. Now, I do not have all of the references here, but at the end you will see where you can look. But there's a lot of information out there about hypothyroid and soy, or soy causing goiters. And I cannot find anything that substantiates that, but this is why it might be an issue for some people, because of the absorption. So if you have any issue with hypothyroid and you're on medication, you want to have a 4 to 6 hour period of time before you take any soy product from when you eat when you swallow your thyroid medication, mostly in the morning. So you want to wait, because absorption of the thyroid medicine could be impaired with consuming soy. So that is the consistent piece of information I could find. And of course, it is safe for infants. We've known that for years. All right, I want to give you some references that I found personally to be very helpful. And this site here, what is important when you read an article, and like I said, a lot of people do research on the internet, maybe to support something they already believe in. And I've actually found reviews that said, written by a board certified family physician, but there are no references at the end. The best studies are from independent foundations, councils, institutions that have references where you see the references repeated, the American Journal of Nutrition, JAMA, New England Journal of Medicine, because then you know that this is research that is continuing to be validated, okay? So there is one site, and here's the one I'm so excited about. What did I do last week or recently? I went to PubMed and I put in some questions I had, and look what showed up. November of 16, soy and health update, evaluation of the clinical and epidemiological literature. What does that mean? This is a review of the literature that is already out there. And I have to tell you, there are 439 references in support of heart, cardiovascular health, blood pressure and lipids, inflammatory markers reduced, improved bone health, menopausal support, thyroid function is preserved, prostate and breast cancer protection, cognitive function, skin health, even something on protection with possible melanoma. So I have to tell you, I saw that and I said, that's all I need, okay? 439 references. So let's talk about GMO, non-GMO, okay? Because what did I tell you at the beginning? There are health benefits of soy. I think you got it. I hope you do, because we want you to stay healthy, get healthy, and help others get healthy. And but number two is how it's grown, okay? And I'm sure some of you have heard of genetically modified organism. What does that mean? That means the seed has been altered. The DNA has been altered through genetic engineering to produce more crops, to be pesticide resistant, to just, be more productive. What happens when you alter something that's supposed to be in its whole form, okay, whether it's in the ground or later on, you lose something. So sometimes there's more allergies, especially with soy. It loses some of the health benefits. It's less expensive to produce, but so what happens? Quality suffers. I don't want that for my family, and neither do you. So 93% of the soy that is grown is GMO. Only 7% is non-GMO. Guess what? That's expensive. And so if you learn anything, understand that having something that is non-GMO is very, very important to achieve the health benefits and safety that you want and you want for your family. So guess what I do? I have found a way to feed my family an excellent source of plant sources of protein and fiber in a Juice Plus produced complete shake. And what is so exciting is that there are 13 grams of plant-based protein, and about 9 or 10 of that comes from a awesome source of soy protein, which I'll show you how it's produced in a minute. But this is so amazing because that extra fiber, not 8 grams of fiber, will allow the blood sugar to be stabilized. And so the absorption of sugar in your body is slower. You stay full longer. It's obviously non-GMO and gluten and dairy free. And it gives us those prebiotics and the ability to digest even easier. And so, most allergies that, occur with people are because of GMO issues. And so here is a way to get the non-GMO. And I absolutely have been on this complete for over 12 years. And I have a 2-year-old granddaughter that's been drinking it for over a year. And it's the only way I know to get over 15 plants, including, 4 sources of protein in just an amazing complete formula. And what's amazing about soy is that it is the one of the only proteins that I know of that will give you all of the essential amino acids that you need to have, healthy protein synthesis. So what about the processing of the soy? Well, first of all, traditional processing will use hexane and heat to remove the oil, the outer layer of the soybean. And then what they have is a leftover soy protein residue that's been processed, altered, and stripped of a lot of it, stripped of the powerful isoflavones, which you just learned is what gives us those health benefits. So with the Juice Plus Complete, they have found a way to harvest that soybean. And first of all, I forgot to say that the growing of the soybeans is all non-GMO and organic, and there were with private farmers that rotate their crops, no herbicides or insecticides, and they are proud to supply the soy for our complete. But then the water washing is a very expensive process. It's newly developed. It's a gentle way to remove the oil and to preserve the pure protein powder and content of that soybean, of that powerful isoflavone. Again, in that very digestible form with that pure rating of number 1. And so, I love this picture because we got to come back to the edamame bean. Thinking of about a half of a cup of an edamame bean, about 25 gives us 9 grams of protein, which is about what's in our complete. And, they talk about 20 to 25 grams a day having the maximum health benefits. We're talking about a way to supplement that soy health benefit. And so let's finally talk about the MD Anderson Cancer Center that did a study on our complete, as well as the Orchard and Garden capsules that provide fruits and vegetable concentrate. And who did they study? Well, they studied ovarian cancer survivors, and they compared already known data with 10 servings of fruits and vegetables with these ovarian cancer survivors. And they already had pretty good results, but it was hard to do, to chop and dice and juice and go to the store. And they said, what would it look like if we gave them 5 servings and supplemented with the Juice Plus micronutrition and the Juice Plus Complete? And what did they find? 5 a day conclusion that doing the 5 servings a day and adding the Juice Plus gave the same results as if they were doing 10 servings a day. And guess what else? They had improved protein status in those that were eating the Juice Plus and the Complete, and no other issues. So if MD Anderson Cancer Center can study Juice Plus Complete, which has this amazing soy in it, and find great results in ovarian cancer survivors, what do you think would happen to you and your family? So let's back up again and look at the end of the day, we have shown you amazing health benefits. And I hope this has cleared up perhaps some of the questions. You know, that the way the bean is grown is extremely important to keep it non-GMO and to preserve the nutrition of that isoflavone with the processing. And really, you know, my goal was to just inspire you, to help you understand, maybe disregard a few of your previous conceptions, to empower you to grow, to not leave off the positive health benefits of adding this type of soy to your diet, and to relax and get healthy and join our healthy living revolution. So Terry, I'm going to turn it back to you and just thank everybody for joining us this today.
Well, thank you, Dr. Roberto, and I want to thank all of you for taking time out to join us today. And please get back with the person who shared this webinar with you, and I want everyone to have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.